Okay, this lesson is lesson 9.3 on adding and subtracting rational expressions. Okay, so we're going to start with simple rational expressions where they have like denominators. Okay, and we're going to add or subtract the numerator, but keep the same denominator. Okay, so we're going to be changing the numerator, but the denominator is going to stay the same. All right, so let's look at example A. We can see that we do have common denominators already. So all we have to do is deal with the numerator. And we have 12b squared minus 4b squared. And that is going to give me 8b squared all over a squared b times b. Okay, and if I can simplify, I should do so, and I can see that I can. I have b squared in the numerator and a b in the denominator, so that will simplify to 8b over a squared. Okay, that is your final answer. Let's look at letter B, a little more complicated here. Okay, I have, again, x plus 2, they are the same. So I'm going to add the numerators. In this case, this was subtraction. Now we're going to add. So I have x squared minus 8x plus 2 plus 5x minus 12 divided by x plus 2. And then I can simplify the numerator with my like terms. So I have x squared minus 3x minus 10 divided by x plus 2. Okay, and then I do want to factor the numerator to see if I have any common terms or expressions so I can cancel. So I factor it to x minus 5 parentheses x plus 2 divided by x plus 2. And I can see that I do have the x plus 2 in which I can simplify, so I cancel that. And I end up with just x minus 5 as my final answer. Okay? Those are the ones that have common or like denominators. Now we're going to have ones with unlike denominators. It's going to be a little more complicated. Okay? And an unlike denominator, we are going to have to find the LCD, which represents the least common denominator. Okay, before we can add or subtract. Okay, that has to be, the denominators have to be the same in order for us to be able to add or subtract. So let's look at letter C. I can see that they are not the same in this case, and I need to find the LCD. Okay, what does that mean? It means that I need these to be the same. So in order for that to be true, this says x squared, and this is 3x. I look for, if I have x's, I look for the one with the highest exponent, so I am going to use that, x squared. And then I don't need to add another x since this one already has it, but I do need to have 3x squared. So that is going to be my LCD. I have a 3 and the x squared. Okay, and then I'm going to rewrite. Actually, let me do an extra step here just so we can see what we're doing. If I have 6 over x squared, 6 over x squared, what do I multiply the numerator and the denominator by in order to get 3x squared? Well, I have to multiply by 3 over 3. Okay? And that is going to give me, actually let me leave it like that. Okay, so let's leave that. That's what we have to do. For this one, we have 5 over 3x. What am I going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by in order to get 3x squared? Well, I have to multiply it by one more x. Okay, now I'm going to rewrite this. So I'm going to end up having 18 over 3x squared. And I know I'm making it larger. That's the idea, is we're making it larger so we can have the common denominator. All right, and then I have 5x over 3x squared. Okay, and so now I do have the common denominator, and I can add the numerators. So I will have 5x plus 18, and I'm just putting it in standard form in my head, all over 3x squared. And that is going to be my final answer. Okay, let's look at letter D. Okay, and I want to find the LCD. Oops. First, though, I want to see if there's anything I can simplify. There is nothing here, and in this case, I actually can. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I actually just have 2x here. Okay, so it's 2x divided by 1. So I still don't have a common denominator here, so I can see that I need to use this expression as my LCD. Okay, So for the first one, I can just leave it as is. It already has the LCD in the denominator. For the second one, I'm going to have to multiply the numerator by x plus 4. So I'm going to have 2x times x plus 4. Okay, all over my LCD. Okay, so now I'm going to distribute this to rewrite, and I'll have x plus 3 over x plus 4 minus 2x squared plus 8x over x plus 4. Okay, and we have to be careful because we do have to distribute this negative to both terms. All right, so I'm not going to just have x plus 3 minus 2x squared plus 8x in the numerator. I have to distribute because it's almost like this is in parentheses. All right, so I'm kind of running out of room here, but I'm going to squeeze it in. So I have x plus 3 minus 2x squared minus 8x divided by x plus 4. And then I can do my like terms. I'm going to kind of try to rewrite it up here in case I have to factor. So I'll have negative 2x squared minus 7x minus 3 all over x plus 4. Okay, I'm going to factor out a negative 1 and then factor from there, and I should get 2x plus 1 times x plus 3, right? Because I would change this to be negative 1, 2x squared plus 7x plus 3, right? And then I could factor to this, and then I have it over x plus 4. Okay, I see that nothing can factor out, but you know, sometimes you might want to double check in case the numerator changed and you can simplify further. So it's good practice to factor the numerator and then compare it to the denominator to see if anything simplifies. Okay, let's go to the next page. We're going to continue with more unlike denominators. And in this situation, I have an example for you, and we're going to analyze the example to see if we can kind of figure out what are the steps that we need to take in order to simplify. Okay, so if I look at the first part, this is my example I can see, and it looks like the first step I'm finding the LCD. And I can see that in this expression I have the x plus 2 times x minus 5. This one only has x plus 2. So I can see that I need to use both as my LCD. So my first step is to find the LCD, okay, which in this case is this. Okay. Looking at step 2, the next thing I notice they do is they multiply the second expression by x minus 5 over x minus 5 because that's what's missing, right? You're kind of looking, here I have the LCD, in this one something's missing, and whatever's missing I must multiply it by. Okay, so any ratio, let's kind of see what we got here. Oops, and you can use your own words too. Any ratio that is missing part of the LCD must be multiplied by 1 in the form of the missing factor, okay? And this is 1, right? We know that x minus 5 divided by x minus 5 represents 1. So we're not changing the expression. We're multiplying it by 1 in a form of x minus 5 divided by x minus 5, okay? So we have to do that if there's a missing part. All right, so far so good. Now I can see that they are combining the numerator, so they did 3x squared minus this FOILed, and we still have our LCD in the denominator. Okay, so in step 3 we need to rewrite as one ratio or rational expression. All right, I have that, and it looks like here I then distribute my negative, and I have my numerator into individual terms, and then it looks like I'm simplifying. So again, we're going to distribute the negative and simplify the numerator, all right, which is what I did. And the last step, like I had mentioned in the last example, is factoring the numerator if possible and simplifying if possible. So the numerator or denominator can be in factored form or standard form. Okay, so we are not able to factor the numerator. So in this case, there is nothing to be simplified, and we just leave it as is, and you can even FOIL the denominator to make it in standard form. Okay, but it is good practice to factor if possible. All right, one more page of notes. All right, similar to the last example, some of it's done for you to analyze, and then some of it you kind of have to fill in the blank here. All right, so For this one, oops, I still my eraser. I can see I have 2x squared minus 5 divided by 3x minus 9 plus 8x divided by x squared minus 7x plus 12. And I can see the first thing that was done was factoring the denominators, okay? We factor the denominator in order to find out what our LCD is. Okay, if we don't factor it, it's going to be extremely hard to decide. So we factor the denominators, and I can then, step 2, see I need to find my LCD. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is highlight. Okay, I know I need this guy. I need this guy. If I go over to this one, I can see that this is already in this one. Good, they have the same. So I need that, and then x minus 4. So I can say my LCD is 3 times x minus 3 times x minus 4. Okay, so I need all of that. Anything that's in this one, and then anything else that's in this one. So think maybe everything from the first one, and then whatever's missing in the second one you need to add as your LCD. Not actually add, but add it as a multiplier. Okay? If I look at step 3, I then decide what is going on here, and I can see that they're multiplying the first expression by x minus 4 over x minus 4, because that's what's missing. And then the second one is 3 over 3 because that's what's missing from this expression. So any ratio that is missing part of the LCD, make my eraser a little easier. Okay, any ratio that is missing part of the LCD must be multiplied by 1 in the form of the missing factor. And we can see that that is what is happening. We saw that in the last example too. All right, step 4. It looks like I am combining it now. So I multiplied, I'm multiplying, and then I'm combining. So I'm going to rewrite as one ratio or rational expression. Step 5, I actually have to do, it says simplify the numerator. So first I'm going to have to FOIL, right, these two guys. So I'm going to end up with 2x cubed minus 5x minus 8x squared plus 20 plus 24x. Okay? And I have my LCD in the denominator, which is 3, parentheses x minus 3, parentheses x minus 4. Okay, and I still need to simplify the numerator further because it is in several terms and there are like terms. So I'll rewrite it as 2x cubed minus 8x squared plus 19x plus 20 divided by my LCD again. Okay, and the last step is step 6, factor the numerator if possible and simplify if possible. Okay, and you can write the numerator and denominator can be in factored form or standard form. So in this case, I am not able to factor. I can try doing grouping, but I'll see that it does not work. So essentially my final answer is just going to be 2x cubed minus 8x squared plus 19x plus 20 divided by my LCD. Okay, and that is lesson 9.3.